Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm, and today we're looking at some of the sheep farm. This is where the sheep have been. We've had them on these farms for, I guess, around 20 years now. And folks, if you look out across the landscape there's hardly any weeds. There's no brush. The sheep have killed all the autumn olive and the brush. So hair sheep, when you strip graze them, are an incredible tool, but you got to put pressure on them a little bit to get them to get really good consumption. You can see this multiple rose bush here survive, and that's because it's right in line with this high tensile wire. And so if they try and eat it, they're going to get shot. But I mean, look at this. This is sheep pasture. Unbelievable. Well, now the sheep have been moved over to the Judy farm. We got goats now running with the sheep. And then we brought in, we loaded them up, took them and the dogs over to docks. And we have got a ton of brush over there for them to eat. So when your sheep run out of weeds and brush, you need to move them to where you got some brush and weeds. I tell you how dry it's been here. This summer, this never healed over. This is where the water line began over a year ago. It'll fill in, it's just gonna take time. Yeah, it's incredible. This is our first quick coupler that we put in. Anyway, the cattle, it's gonna be really handy to have the cows have piped water in here. And I have to apologize for the wind. Folks, when I go to shoot a video, I don't have all the fancy stuff. I just got a cell phone, and you get what you get. And I know I'm gonna hear it from the naysayers that, why don't you have a, what do you call it, a muffler? Or whatever, piece of foam or something. It is what it is. I'll just leave it at that. But I can show you what works. If you're interested in making a living on the farm, you've come to the right place. I'm not going to shoot any falsehoods out here to show you things that aren't working. I'll show you things that we've done in the past that didn't work, and that was, trying to do things against Mother Nature. So we were always out, figuring out how we could kill things. And once I started focusing on the land and using the animals as a tool instead of, forcing my way onto nature and making her do what I want her to do, that didn't go so well. So here's a couple. These are the only ones that I see right there. There's two of them. There's two honey locusts there, and they'll survive the sheep. Now, if the sheep were still on this paddock, they'd have nailed those, and the goats would have surely nailed them. Folks, these goats are unbelievable aggressive toward brush and such. So, you got brush, probably ought to have a few goats. If you come see us, or I can put you in touch with Sean, and he's got a good source, and he's the one we got our goats from, and he's raising the right kind of goats. He's still got some billies. All the nannies have been sold, but he's got some billies. And shoot, I'd run 6 or 7 billies if especially the way Sean's got them broke to hot wire, just to get rid of the brush. You didn't make a dime on them, which you will. I mean, there's you raise up a billy and he's a good one, and he's broke to hot wire, that goat's worth some money. But just to get control of the brush. The goats don't like the grass. They're gonna have their heads up in them trees. You can see the graze line here with sheep. Well, you put goats in there, that graze line is gonna move up another foot, because they can stand on their hind legs and graze, unlike sheep. But this is all gonna be winter stockpile. We're gonna need it because we're extremely dry. And we've got the sheep over there cleaning up, sheep and goats over cleaning up docks, what we call the brush paddocks. Folks, this used to be considered a brush paddock. We leased this farm. This thing was full of multifrose bushes and thorn trees. Full. And didn't hardly have any grass on it. And today, I would beg to differ, it's full of beautiful grass. We didn't put down any seed out here. In the early days, we did frost seed in 3 pounds of red clover, but that was probably 20 years ago. But there's just a ton of feed out here for livestock now. And so I'm excited about using animals to heal the landscape. You know, if you use their hooves to trample it on the ground, just remember this quote: every grass blade that you trample on the ground with a ruminant hoof gives you 2 grass blades back. So think of it as a savings account. The cattle or the sheep, when they trample this stuff on the ground, they're feeding the soil microbes and the earthworms, and those critters are gonna allow you to grow more grass. It's that plain and simple. More nutritious grass. My great friend from South Africa, Ian Mitchell-Innes, you know, I remember meeting him many, many years ago, and he said, what's your story? And I said, well, I'm a grass farmer. He looked right at me and said, son, you're not a grass farmer. I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of think I am, Ian. He goes, nope, you're not. He said, you need to be focused on being a microbe farmer. Well, I'd heard of microbes and such and things that I can't even see down there in the soil. He goes, no, he said, if you focus on feeding those microbes, you're going to have all the grass and you're going to be able to run twice as many cattle in the next 10 years. And he was right. He was right. Keep the money in your pocket, folks. Ammonium nitrate, all you're doing is giving your money to the fertilizer guy, and you're poisoning your soil. You're killing it because it is a salt. It kills microbes. It kills earthworms. And then they laugh. They laugh all the way to town with the money just stuffing in their billfold that they took from you. Because now they know you're addicted. You're a drug addict. Your soil's dead, and unless you put an ammonium nitrate down on it every year, every spring or fall, you're not going to grow any grass. And they know that. And they're just laughing. And you're sitting there screaming because your wallet's empty and you got a bank note to pay the bank on livestock or land or whatever. And the money's gone. Keep the money in your pocket. Let the animals do the work. This is our lifetime lease. And I've got pictures of this farm. We got it. It was all broom sedge and cedars and thorn trees and multifers. It was a pitiful looking farm. Today it looks like a park. And I would turn around and show you the other direction, but you're going to get hammered with wind. And you're going to be mad at me. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. The boys are bringing some cows up. We're going to be moving the cows onto some of this beautiful grass, and we'll see you next time. Oh, hit that subscribe button on the way out. And keep an eye on our channel. There's going to be some really nice South Pole cows offered up for sale there. And yeah, there's going to be some really nice groups of cow-calf pairs, bred cows, and some bred heifers, and even some yearling heifers. Have a good one, folks. Take care.